morning, Alisha.
Let's just breeze past that one. Good morning, my darling.
How are you this fine fall morning in British Columbia?
Yeah, I feel good this morning. I slept past 5 a.m., so that was like a real treat for me.
That's a win.
Yes. How are you?
Feeling good this morning too.
Good.
Yeah, no complaints.
Did you have your solid 12 hours last night?
I think I had 10. I average about 10 out.
Outrageous. So does my 6-year-old, but I love that for you.
I just enjoy my sleep.
What are we talking about today?
So today's a really fun episode. We're going to do a roundup, a session 11 roundup.
Great.
And we're just going to chat about what's happening across both businesses and some personal updates.
Great.
And it's going to be more of a, chaotic episode.
More unhinged than
less
normal.
Structure.
Yes.
More
love that.
Juice.
You're speaking my language.
Okay, great. So where should we start first?
Let's start at the top of our list here. I think we have some really exciting work coming out of chapter 2 that I'm excited to talk about. We need to get this out into the world.
I know. And this is actually launching next month, which is so exciting.
Yes.
We have a digital course or a digital series.
A digital series, because it's not just coursework, right? There's some, virtual in-person sessions weekly. So there's more of a touch base there, more of a kind of intimate setting.
And so chapter 2, just to give some context, is the second brand that we have, and it's focused on mindfulness and meditation. It has a really strong Instagram presence where we share a lot of informative tools, breathing techniques, affirmations, specifically aimed at entrepreneurs and professionals to support them in their day-to-day life, right? And their mental health. And so we have a few products that exist in chapter 2, but this is our first digital course that we're offering. And so we're really excited to put this out there. And we've actually held back on doing this until we really hit the nail on the head with what we wanted to offer in this space and who it was for. So I feel like that's been a really big or a long time coming.
Yes. It's a huge unlock for us to get a sense of who's following that brand, who's benefiting from it. And this is a space where there's not necessarily a lot of support in mindfulness and mental health for the entrepreneur, for the executive, for the leader, or even somebody who's just developing in their career. Like we talk about all the time, there's such a strong scientific link between mindfulness, meditation, and performance. And that is something that interests us both, that we've both benefited from. So really feel positioned to provide for our community here.
Totally.
Yeah.
And we had a meeting with our business coach this week, and we were kind of sharing the course outline with her, and we kept mentioning this link between meditation, mindfulness, and performance. And, I thought that was so interesting how she said a lot of entrepreneurs wouldn't describe themselves as high performers.
No.
And then I was thinking, okay, what do I gain from meditation? Is a performance? I've definitely seen results. In increase of positive results in my business. But I think it's more well-being. And I think when I define success, it's just well-being. Can I move through my day with ease?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, that's such a great.
Can I support myself financially? Yes. Can I move through my day with ease? Yes. Am I at peace?
Yes.
So I think that as we work with that word performance, it's we kind of need to give some more context
Define
to it
it.
as well.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think also performance has a connotation towards work, towards being, getting to that next level, getting that promotion, getting that raise. And when we're using the word performance, we're thinking about every area of your life, all of those things you just shared, relationships, communication, ability to navigate the highs and lows. Parenting. Exactly. So that's where, I've seen the biggest shift. And then it allows me to show up for work.
Yes, you have
and
more
perform
space,
in a way. Exactly.
And then I think entrepreneurship and professional life is innately a roller coaster. It just is. It's up and
Yes.
down. It's
Yes.
dynamic. It's moving all the time. So
Yes.
how do you ride those waves
Yes.
with more ease, right? And you're not
Exactly.
just taken out by the downs, or
Yeah.
you're completely knocked off your feet by the ups, like, so just how
Yes.
do you be able to find that middle ground and that
Yes.
balance point a bit better?
Exactly. And I've
Mhm.
really had kind of an awareness or an unlock around entrepreneurialism being a highly creative space.
Yeah.
And I think when um, you're in that mode constantly, there is a real drain on your
Right.
brain, or, how some people need to set themselves up really in a specific way to get into a creative mindset. And it's like,
Right.
as entrepreneurs, you're being pulled into that all the time throughout your day.
Yes,
So, this is
yes.
like another way through breathing techniques, meditation, journaling, that,
Mhm.
you and I have been able to navigate that
Right.
better than
Yes,
before these,
for sure.
tactics.
Yes,
Do you want
totally
to share the
agree.
name of our course?
Yeah, so the name is From Stressed to Success: 5 Weeks of Meditation for Purpose-Led Entrepreneurs and Professionals.
Fantastic. And I think it's also important to share that we're going to be running this course on specific dates. So
Mhm.
it's not something that you can sign up for anytime and take part in anytime yet. Maybe in the future we will, but we'll be having open registration dates, a closed registration date, and then live sessions.
Exactly.
So
Yes.
you can schedule them into your calendar
Yes,
to be
and then we
there.
have a
Yeah,
cohort that we're moving through the curriculum
exactly.
with, and you have a community that you're going through this with, a like-minded community, and a lot of entrepreneurs or professionals can feel really lonely in their roles or in their positions,
Yes.
right? So, it's a great way to network and tap into connection,
Yes.
community, like, that's how we grow, that's how we develop, and I think with meditation, sometimes it can feel like too big of a thing to take on. And it's hard to know if you're doing it right, because it's like you're just sitting there and you're like,
Yeah.
is it working? I
Yeah.
don't know. And so this is a really great entry point, right? To
I agree.
explore this, see if there's something in here for you,
Yes.
really learn about the science behind it, the benefits, and meet some great people.
No experience necessary.
None. None.
Okay, let's keep rolling with chapter two,
Okay.
because there's a lot of exciting movement in that brand. And we've talked before about our journals, these beautiful journals
Yes.
that we poured our heart and soul into
Yes.
earlier this year. And we wanted to mention we've been seeing an uptick in our orders around bulk ordering, which has been
I
really cool to
know.
see. And
Yes.
so, where have you seen that? Like, what are people doing with the bulk orders?
Right, they're buying them for their team. So we've seen either corporate gifting, so companies buying them for their clients as a really beautiful, meaningful gift,
Yes.
or companies buying them for their people as a way to support them with their mental health, as a way to say thank you. And or, one team at Lululemon bought them for an entire department, and then they worked through them together. And it was like a really nice exercise that they were able to check back in
Yeah,
on
I loved
weekly,
that.
and talk about and really
Yes.
bring mindfulness in a meaningful way, as opposed to just doing one workshop and
Yes.
that was it?
And we actually gifted them to our kids' teachers this year
Yes.
and
Yeah.
had such a strong response from them. They
I
were so
know.
touched. We got
Yes.
personal notes around them. It was really like a meaningful, as you said, gift for them.
Yes. Yeah. I think, even with Christmas coming up, and you can still buy them individually on our website, if you're stuck for a gift idea, it's obviously, I'm going to say it's a great gift idea. But I often think, like, I would love to give somebody something that, like, elevates them, uplifts them,
Yes.
supports them.
Yes.
And it doesn't mean like something's wrong with you. Here's this
Yeah.
meditation. It's like, here's a place for your dreams, for your
Yes.
goals, to help you, move through any
Yes.
stress or anxiety you have, and really reach that next level and move
Yeah.
towards it.
It allows someone to invest in themselves, which I don't
Exactly.
know
Well, that's a really nice way to put
that
it.
people would treat themselves necessarily to
Yes.
that, unless they're specifically on this path. So it's such
And
a
it's
nice.
something we use. Like, I
Yeah.
don't leave home without my journal,
Yeah.
because I just never know when I'm gonna, like, wanna capture something, and there's meditations, there's a
Yeah.
QR code that links directly to meditations. So it's a very cool interactive, like,
Yes.
experience. Yeah.
Beautiful. Where do you want to go from here?
Let's talk about, okay, we have here a mental health update. Let's just dive into it because I think let's give the people what they want to
Oh my
hear.
God.
We've talked about our products and services.
Yeah.
And, it's next week is October.
Oh my.
And I think we're coming out of a year in our business where, we've said so many times during the year, this was the year where we had to put all our like mindfulness tools, mental health knowledge into like daily practice.
Oh my God. Did we ever?
So, like, what did that look like for you, or what comes up for you when I say that?
I just have a visual of myself laying on my office floor and FaceTiming you. It was a really hard year. It was really stressful. The market was so unpredictable. And, we were really in the impact of that for the first time at that level in our business. And such a shift from the year before. So it was really hard to wrap our brain around it. Um, and just like you said, what I noticed was actually the hardest thing was getting up every day and motivating myself and persevering and
Yes.
having that resilience that we always talk about. It's like it's easy to have resilience when things are good,
Yeah.
right? It's easy to get up and motivated and do your workout and seize the
Yes.
day when things are good, right?
Yeah.
And so, I think it really showed me how, and I know this, but how appreciative that we are in this together. Like,
Oh
I
my
can't
goodness.
imagine going through this last year
Right.
alone. We had a good, like, unspoken synchronicity around
Agreed.
when one of us would go down, the other one would
What's up?
stabilize,
Was the upper.
and vice versa, right?
Yeah, that was totally unspoken as
Yes.
well.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
just an understanding. I have the same with Rich and our kids. It's like one of us can go down, but we can't both go down,
That's
right?
really good. I like that.
Um, so yeah, just, going for lots of walks, exercising, creating time for meditation, which I found, you've spoken about this before, particularly hard to sit with my thoughts when I felt like
Right.
I was failing. Like I didn't
Yes.
want to do it. I really didn't. I found it really hard. I was like, I don't want to be alone.
For sure.
I'm
That's
just going
so
to FaceTime
real.
Tess.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, here we go. How about you? How did it show up for you? Like, what did
I
you
guess
find
like
yourself
what
doing?
comes to mind is like, I think what would really get me is in the times where things were really slow. And I've never made more like business development calls or sales calls in my life,
Mm.
and or sent emails or did like prospecting and hear nothing back. Like
Yes.
literally nothing
Yeah,
back. And
yeah.
it's just hard to kind of understand when you're like, okay, but I'm planting the seeds
Yeah, I'm
and
doing
they're,
the work.
yeah, I'm
Yeah,
doing it. Like one of these has to come through, and
yeah.
then you're just not hearing anything. And I really had to like talk myself through like timing matters, just
Mhm.
trust that you're doing the right things.
Yes.
I would have to pull back when I would feel like I'm being too frantic and like
Mm.
doing too much, like finding that right balance where I'm still making the right connections, and also understanding that they're not getting back for a reason. Like
Yeah.
their hiring has been paused.
Yes.
They're doing layoffs.
Yes.
They're not
Yes.
thinking about recruitment now.
Yeah.
Um, and so I think that felt hard for me, just not having things feel like reciprocal, and
Yes.
like, but so skewed the other way where it was like
Yes.
this.
Oh my God, I know.
um,
Yes.
and so I think the things that helped were like, I would really go into, definitely meditation, definitely working out. Even on the days where I didn't
Mhm.
have energy, I just like get to the gym and I would just walk on the treadmill like for
Yes.
30 minutes, just move my body, listening to a uplifting podcast or
Mhm.
something like that. Um, what else? And then I just like I journal a lot. So I would just always like one thing that I did, which I'm like thinking, oh, this was really an unlock for me, was I would like journal about what it felt like when everything turned back on again. Like
Mm.
I remember one particular day where you and I were kind of both like, oh
We didn't
God.
synchronize.
Yeah, we didn't synchronize that day.
Yeah.
I like went home and then I started sending you, I created a Pinterest board about like our
Yes.
10-year like 11/11 anniversary, which will be in a year, I think,
Oh my God.
and how we were gonna celebrate. And we literally
Yes.
were not in a position to do that in that moment,
No.
but I was like, "Here's the board. Here's us
Yes.
drinking champagne. Here's us flying to, like, Rome to celebrate, just the 2 of us. Here's us,"
Yes.
and just, like, try to stay in the energy
Yes.
of, like, "We're gonna get through this, and what does it feel like and look like when we're in that moment?"
Yes.
And just give myself little breaks like that, and then get back into
Yes.
reality and be like, "Okay, what do I have to do?"
And that's really a process of manifestation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful. And
Yeah.
here we are.
And here we are, and things did turn
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
I
We're
know.
still in business.
Yes, we're still here. We're still standing
We're still
with so much
standing.
perspective. It made me
Yes.
think a lot about because we, coach a lot of people that have lost jobs or,
Yeah.
we had the Get Hired formula a few years ago during the pandemic when people were going through mass layoffs. And we spoke so much about how being in the hunt for your next job is a mental game.
Right.
And that was exactly the
Exactly.
space we were in, right? We were
Yes.
living through that. So it really gave me, perspective again on
And I think one
being
thing we
there.
did really great is that when things did turn around and things turned back on and we were
Yes.
stable, we took a moment and we actually created a document and we were like, okay, what did we learn from this
Yes.
past year? And we both just like bullet pointed all this stuff out. And
Yeah.
that I think is a really important step,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Like, let's not take this past year for granted, even though
Yeah.
it was the toughest year we've had in
Yes.
business.
Yeah.
There's still always something to learn and gain from
Yes.
it. And I think it will make us better in
I think
business
so too.
and professionally and
Yeah.
personally. And we'll actually be able to serve our community better because there's nothing like having walked the walk
Yes.
to then be able to, lead from that place, you
Exactly.
know?
Right. It gives you a sense of authenticity when you're speaking to people
Yes.
that are in that
Yeah.
place. We'll definitely have to do an episode on our learnings. I
Okay,
think
that's a good idea.
that would be really cool to share.
Yeah. Okay, great.
So that's our mental health update. We survived. We're here. Um, what's next? What do you want to talk about?
All right, so let's go straight into market updates. So,
Yeah.
what's happening on the market? Because we keep saying things have shifted,
Yes.
things are rolling, we're back in business. What does that mean, Alish?
Things are rolling. So, what I'm hearing from clients right now, this is kind of interesting, is that they all have been on pause this year, right? Whether they were doing layoffs or they were in a place of fear, right?
Yes.
What's going to happen to the market? Is
Recession
there a
proofing.
recession coming? Exactly.
Yeah.
But now that we're getting closer to the end of the year, departments are given budgets every year that they have to spend if they want to essentially renew their budget for the
Yes.
following year. So that is what is happening right now. We
Right.
have leaders, department heads, executives saying, I need to make these hires. And businesses are feeling like we've been on hold for a while. It's time
Yes.
to go. You can't hold your strategy and your growth plans
Mm-hmm.
forever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're starting to see positions open up. We're starting to see executive talent that are now feeling safe and in a place where they can put feelers out if they want to make some moves. We've
Yes.
had an astronomical amount of executive leaders, not that are out of work,
Right.
but that are now deciding it's safe for them to start
Make a
looking.
move.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been safe for a while, right?
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
we just had the pandemic. We then had a good
Yeah.
year. Then we went into this recession.
Yes.
And that means talent has had to kind of be more conservative,
Yeah.
more thoughtful,
Yeah.
stay put. But now that's shifting and people are like, let's go. And we're
Yes.
like, hell yeah.
Hell yes. So we have a lot of talent that is confidentially looking. So that means they're not going to be applying to positions online, right? They don't want it out there that they're looking,
Exactly.
but they have let us know to keep their eye on the market for them.
Yes. And I love this because this is a
Yeah.
good example of like how we work and how
Yes.
you work with a recruiting agency. Companies will come to us
Yeah.
for targeted search. So
Yes.
people who are employed elsewhere, maybe at their competitors or a
Yeah.
like brand that are performing really highly.
Yeah.
And then we kind of make that move over.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exciting times.
Exciting.
We are here for it. The other thing we're seeing is a real increase in executive level talent that is interested in fractional work.
Right.
So coming in for a period of time to a company. And we're seeing that at the CEO level, the CFO level, the COO level.
Yeah. Why do you think that is? What's happening with fractional?
Yeah. I think the candidates I have spoken to have often come from being in house. They've worked for years at the same company or in the same industry,
Mm,
and it gives them diversity. It gives them choice. It kind of shakes things up a little bit. Sometimes it allows them to experience another industry or company that
right.
they haven't before. Um, and it gives them, like I said, a little bit more freedom in how they set up their schedule. Like maybe they
See,
take a
that's what I think it
contract for
is.
6 months
Yeah.
and then they take the summer off to be with their kids or go travel. Then they pick up another one, right? And then for companies, it's really nice if they have, received a specific amount of funding. They only have this budget for a role. They want somebody who's been at the next level, but they can't necessarily hire
Right.
them permanently. So they bring them in for a project or a period of time.
Right.
So that's a real kind of trending um,
Yes.
market and piece of market intelligence that
Yeah, I
we're
think that's
seeing
really
right
great.
now. And we also have a lot of these candidates on our books as well.
Yeah. So it's a good time to get in touch with us
Yes.
as a candidate if you're looking to, confidentially get a pulse on what's out there,
Yeah.
or if you're a company who's hiring
Yes.
to understand like if we have a talent that would match what you're looking for. Yeah.
Exactly. Life updates?
Oh my God, we have to share a really exciting market update. We opened a Toronto
Oh my God.
office.
I was like, what?
It's like
We
a
did.
huge deal.
This is a really, really big deal.
Yeah, so we have had this goal for a long time,
Yeah.
and I'm I have said nobody was more surprised than you and I when this happened this year. All
Yes,
of a sudden, everything lined up
it did.
really
Yeah.
perfectly, and we were able to pull the trigger on this. And it's definitely an investment for us, but
Yeah.
we have just been like seeding that market for
Yes.
years, and we've really had this
Yeah.
vision. So it really was a no brainer for us.
So we've always had recruitment representation in
Yes.
Toronto, right? Our recruiters, we have executive recruiters in the Toronto market, but we've never had leadership in the Toronto market. So someone who's able to meet with clients,
Yes.
have a personal experience, be on that time zone.
Yes.
So it's a bit of it is an elevated
Yes.
experience having somebody in that market who knows it, you know, back to front. And then we're continuing to build our recruitment
It's
collective
so
there.
exciting. And we've
Yeah.
brought, such a incredible leader onto our
Oh, she's
team. And we're
so
such a
good.
small,
Yeah.
tight knit
Yes.
team. And it just couldn't have gone better. I'm
And she's
so
going to be
thrilled.
on our podcast. We're recording with her
Oh my
today.
goodness. This is so
So we'll have an
exciting.
episode. This
Okay,
is so
great.
exciting. We'll have an episode coming so that our audience can get to know her.
Yes,
Yeah.
love that. Okay, the last business update is I want to share. We had yesterday our second Rise Together conference.
Yeah. I forgot all of these business updates. I was like, let's go to life updates, but these are really good business updates.
And this was like, I really love this because oh, honestly, we can't tell you enough how hard this last year was for us.
Yeah.
But I think, one thing we've done well is that we're always able to kind of dig deep and say, okay, in this moment, what's available? Can we innovate a product? Can we create something new? Can we give back to our community?
Yeah.
And so that's what this offering is. It's
Yes.
a, zero cost to our community. And we were like, how can we bring everybody together? We're assuming a lot of you are in the same position as we are in. And let's rise together.
You had to try really hard not to say rise up.
Rise up. I keep calling it rise up by accident.
I actually, on my walk in here today, I walked by a convenience store and it had a huge sign out front that said rise up. I took a picture. It's going to be on our social later.
Awesome. Love
Won't make
that.
sense to anybody else but us.
And so yesterday we had a really great panelist. We had Jen from Cheekbone Beauty. She's the
So
founder
good,
who
yes.
was exceptional, vulnerable, an incredible leader
Oh my
that I learned
God.
so much from.
Yes.
We had Juliana from Majuri who
Yes.
was just dropping
She's like Oprah. The quotes coming out of this woman.
Yes. Like we trying to move on and I was like, I'm sorry, did you just say like that was brilliant? I'm
like
writing
we had
them
her
down.
quoted on our Instagram within an hour.
Love that.
Like
Crystal is so good.
I know. It was phenomenal.
I was literally like writing on Post-it notes thinking, I need to put this on my mirror. Like she's just saying powerful things like completely off the cuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like so happy I've met this woman now.
We have both Jen and Juliana coming on the podcast in November. So everyone will get to hear. She was phenomenal.
Yes. Yeah. And then we had Jess, our managing partner for our Toronto office, who was also incredible on the panel.
She's so good. She's a little smarty pants.
She is.
And has had such an interesting big career before joining us. Like she's been in-house at a CHRO level for years. So she brought all of that with her, which was so, it was so nice to see her. She was shining and in a flow state on that panel. She needs to do more of those. Yeah.
And then we had Natalie.
Yes.
From, how do you pronounce this company?
Well, it's ADA. I was calling it ADA.
Okay, that's what I thought.
It is ADA. I learned that on the panel.
Perfect.
Which is an AI software company in Toronto that's doing really well and growing substantially.
She was also
really great.
Really valuable, tactical, practical information. So
exactly.
I learned so much. Our community, received so much value from it. And I think we have this principle of like, let's come together, let's make each other better.
Yes.
And honestly, rise together.
Yes.
Like I can't think of anything better.
I know. We were like, oh, this seems cheesy, but it's exactly what happens. And even I was reflecting on this afterwards, even though it's virtual, because we used to do these conferences in person, I still get the energy and this like excitement around the work that we're doing and the lives that we're impacting through our work that is like palatable, like it's really energizing to sit in and listen to these people. It was so great.
So great.
Yeah.
Okay, now you can go.
Okay, well, now we have 3 minutes before our next podcast.
Life updates. Okay, we'll go really quick.
Rapid firing.
I want to share that it's the fall and we're doing something called the Broth Life.
Oh, God, I love the Broth Life. Yeah.
Where we make like a chicken bone broth.
Yes.
Usually on Sundays.
Yes.
Not every week, but usually on Sundays. And we just let that thing simmer all night. And then we just drink it and force our families to drink it during the week. And honestly, it's just a lovely thing to do on a Sunday. It really gives me life.
Do you know, I've been making mine on Fridays.
Oh, okay.
Because Theo, my son, is obsessed with this soup. He basically eats the whole thing and he eats it over the weekend. So I have it like in the fridge ready to go for the weekend, which is also super nice.
This makes me so happy. As if he doesn't have enough collagen, though. He's
got a lot of collagen.
One of our favorite things about bone broth is that it is a collagen booster.
We need to share that recipe again, the one that you sent me, because I've now sent it to a few people that I'm enrolled in the Broth Life. And
I just want everyone to call it the Broth Life.
Yes.
That's my only request.
I know.
And when when my kids walk in the door and I'm like, you guys ready to live the broth life? And they're like,
oh my God.
And they don't even fight it anymore.
And no one wants to hear us talk about how to make it anymore, but we'll just tell each other.
Yeah.
Because it brings me some kind of joy to share the recipe.
Yeah, it's so
and
great.
Talk through it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I see what's next on the list.
Oh.
Who did we go see for your birthday, your continued birthday celebration?
Goodness. We were so lucky enough to welcome Queen Bee into Vancouver and go to see the incredible Beyonce.
Oh my God.
With all of the other older millennials in Vancouver, dressed in silver.
Oh my God. I've never sweat so much at a concert in my entire life.
It was hot as a stadium in there. Very hot in there.
And do you remember I was like, why are my pants wet? I was like, did I pee my pants? When Beyonce came out? They were wet. I think I actually sat on something. But I also
I thought you were going to say, I think I actually peed.
No. I could have when she came out. She came out and did 4 power ballads. Who does that? Like
the confidence.
Yeah. She has so many hits. She knows people want to see her dance and sing her like power pop.
What a beautiful
R&B songs. And she came out and did power ballads beside a piano and our mouth was on the floor. It gave me chills.
She was really incredible.
I don't know how someone can be that beautiful and that talented.
I know. I was like, pick one.
Yeah.
But you know what? Have it all.
You know what? She can have it.
Yeah. She's telling all the girls, just have it all. So
I need a quick con man update before we go.
Connor, my golden retriever pup, 8 months old.
Yes.
So we are, you know, in our 40s and pushing 40, trying to do TikTok for our brand. We love TikTok as like, consumers,
yeah.
but trying to figure out how to represent our brands on TikTok. And we're absolutely struggling. Every now and then I just post a picture of Connor, the con man, my dog, and it goes fucking viral. Anything we do, it's like literally 3 likes.
You and I and Crystal liking it.
4 views.
Yeah.
Anything Connor does, it's like, okay, 100,000 views.
Yes.
500, 600 likes. It's like, so I'm just kind of like,
so
okay,
beautiful.
got it.
I am fully aligned if Con Man takes over TikTok for us. Like, he can represent both brands.
What? Maybe I'm thinking, like, instead of us talking about meditation, we just put a picture of the con man and then write something over it.
Yes. Just him in his daily life, out for walks.
Yeah. Teaching meditation.
Teaching meditation in the Mima chair with the boys.
Yeah.
He's the man.
So.
Okay, we got to wrap it up here.
Okay. TikTok has spoken. They want Connor, not us.
Noted. Okay? I'm aligned. That's it.
Personally. All right, my love.
That's a wrap.
Toodles.
Toodles.